my gosh.
God, I have huge breasts. My bosoms are just everywhere. I need to get like a show-specific bra to wear, just to like keep myself in line. It's like, if you're into like, you know, BBMs, I'm certainly bringing it. My like nipples out too.
That's making it to the front of the podcast. Hello and welcome to 8-Bit Dad. I am Brian Ferguson.
And I'm Zach Rosenberg. 8-Bit Dad is, as you know, hopefully by now, the modern father's guide to news, reviews, and fatherly opinions. And guess what? We are the only, in case you were keeping count, fatherhood news show in the United States today. It's not an exact fact, but I'm going to run with it.
That's pretty close, actually. We are the founding fathers of 8-Bit Dad, Zach and me, Brian. And we bring this podcast to you on a weekly basis to cover this week's top stories that happen on our website. So, yeah, that's pretty much... We do a podcast and get it out to you guys. And
I don't do much. I kind of just make jokes for...
Yep.
40 minutes and then go to sleep for a couple days and, hey, it's up on the internet.
Yep. That's kind of typically how it goes, so... Alright, so, let's see, you were in Detroit this week.
Yeah, the city of brotherly love.
The city of brotherly love.
Philadelphia.
Nope.
Windy City? No, it's Chicago.
That's Chicago.
The
city where they make cars.
Automakers.
There you go.
City.
Yes.
Cars.
Detroit.
It's the city that never sleeps. No. That's like Vegas or New York or something? Yeah, okay.
Vegas is like what stays in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Lots of cars.
Lions. Detroit Lions.
They still around?
Yeah.
Man.
I know. They just lost today.
I know nothing about football, so... Anyway, so I was in Detroit this last week.
Yes.
We've been talking about this for 3 weeks, and chances are we're going to talk about it for 4.
And we're going to have another video out
we're going to have
about it, yes.
Some videos and some pictures and
yes,
something slow-mo with some music on it.
That'll be cool.
But yeah, I was invited out, just in case you didn't catch the first 2 podcasts, which statistically, we're looking at the stats, you didn't.
Nope.
So,
no one did.
No one did. Me, I caught it.
I caught it too.
So
we watched it about 80 times, and that's why there's like 80 hits.
There's 80 hits.
Yes.
From us, just
right.
us two. So I went off to GM, that is General Motors, I've been told, to go check out their Chevy Traverse. They had this program called the Chevy Traverse Quality Validation Program that they invited a bunch of dad bloggers to. And to go check out their car and where, you know, kind of where it's made, where it's validated, and where it's tested, which was pretty cool. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, I was just really impressed that they went after fathers.
Yeah.
There were 2 mom bloggers there, really nice chicks also.
Yeah.
Ladies, really nice ladies. Like this gal Eileen something or other from Mom Central.
Okay.
She's up in San Luis Obispo.
Oh.
She was really nice.
Okay.
And
college up in SLO.
No.
All right.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
They both start with San.
They both start with San.
S-A-N.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
So
then Shannon Lane was from Travelin' Mamas.
Okay.
She was real nice too. I got a lot of time just kind of hanging out with her. We talked at breakfast and really cool. So
cool. There was 2 mom bloggers and
2
how
mom bloggers.
How many dad bloggers?
8 dad bloggers. I got a list somewhere in here. If I didn't make everything on my screen.
So how did they do the selections? Like how did they manage to choose?
Just score us.
Yeah.
How they managed to get themselves in trouble with us, basically.
Right. Yeah. Basically.
They, I guess, went after people that had a tech slant.
Oh, okay.
They were looking at you had to be a dad blogger, and you had to be like have a kind of tech background on our site. So we fooled them. Congrats!
Yeah. All right.
We we went for it and we did it. So
finally fooled someone.
Yeah. Oh, I got a list here of the people that were there. Not that anyone cares, but maybe if we say their names, they'll tune in.
Maybe.
So
maybe we'll mention them.
Yeah.
And they'll say, "Where am I located in this podcast?" And they'll scroll to about the equivalent of the Wadsworth constant. And
can you actually push? Just cut this part out and put it at the end of the show, so they have to watch the whole thing just to hear it. But yeah. So some of the guys that were there, Andy Patzig from 411 for Fathers, which is a cool website. It's kind of a little bit more like objective, like has like how-tos and stuff like that, as opposed to like just kind of the
information.
Hey, my kid did this, my kid did that. Daddy by Default, Craig Grella, nice guy. From the Bungalow, Chris Tucker.
Not the Chris Tucker.
Not the Chris Tucker. No, he's like the opposite of that Chris Tucker. He's like
white. Just
imagine the opposite of the Chris Tucker that you're thinking of, and that is Chris Tucker from the Bungalow.
Okay.
Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents.
Oh yeah.
He was a really cool guy. Actually, we did a couple like car rides together and kind of talked. He's a really nice guy.
Cool.
I think he's from New York. I was kind of in and out of.
You didn't hear an accent.
In and out of sleep on that one, but yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he's from New York. But real nice guy. Late Night Parents does kind of the other, if I'm not mistaken, the other prominent father podcast.
Right.
Not to say that no one else has a prominent thing, but they're on Mom TV, so they're bigger.
Yeah.
Ted Hicks does a lot of the sports stuff for them.
Oh, okay. They have sports?
Yeah, they do sports on their
section.
site.
So they have like a whole sports area.
He knows his stuff. I tried to have conversations with him.
Yeah.
Not
no contest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't
all right.
Well, so Memoirs of a Single Dad.
Yeah.
Daniel Reuter? Something like that. He's another nice guy. I hate to keep saying that these guys were nice guys, but they really were. They were all really, they were awesome. Sean Bean from Parenting Magazine. That guy was awesome. He knew his stuff. And if you ever look him up, number one, doesn't he look like who's that dude that was in like Transformers and?
No, he looks like Joey Lawrence.
Yeah, he does kind of have a Joey Lawrence thing going on.
He looks like a Joey Lawrence.
Oh yeah, when he was like in the kind of towards the late '90s where he got real thin all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But he was a really cool guy too. He knew his stuff. He and I were sitting on one side of the table at dinner, and we really bogged down the conversation with facts. Everyone else was like making fart jokes at the other side of the table and like having fun, and we were like hard-nosed talking about fathers and parenting laws, and so we kind of ruined dinner. But nice guy, I really like him. Nick Shell, Parents.com. We're going to talk about Parents.com later.
Okay.
Those guys get under my skin. Except Nick. Nick was great.
Nick was great.
And then, the two chicks that I already mentioned. But the two ladies. They certainly were ladies also.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. You can't live with me, can't live without me.
Yes.
You can probably live without me.
I can live without you. Only for a week, though.
So, only until next Sunday.
Only until next Sunday.
So,
I need you.
So, yeah, anyway, so the Detroit trip was awesome. And like I said, the main thing for me, I mean, I hate to disappoint GM for not really talking about the car too much. Car was awesome. The ride was smooth. It was classy. It was nice. We had Captain Leadfoot was driving us to and from the airport, so he got us there in one piece.
Is that his name?
No, I actually don't know his real name.
Oh.
But he fishtailed the car a couple times. Like, for no reason. Like, he'd be at a stop sign and he'd floor it. I don't know if GM told him, like, floor it a couple times so they could see the power. But he would, like, it was raining.
Well, I think.
And he'd, like, fan around a corner, and
I think if you're in the market to be a GM person, you kind of have to expect to wow the other people.
He thought he was in a Camaro. So.
Yeah, he probably drives a Camaro. Probably got that for free.
Yeah, but aside from the car, like I said, I was really impressed by the fact that they brought fathers out there and showed them, and it would have been really easy for them to parade a Camaro in front of us and say like, well, we brought you out to see the Chevy Traverse, but it's a lot more fun, muscle cars, flex your muscles.
Yeah,
so they never did that, which was
so true.
That was really like that was classy of them to not kind of go that route. They never once tried to dangle the Camaro in front of us and say, check out this sweet machine that's coming out too.
Because it does look, the new model looks really cool.
Yeah.
The new Camaro looks really cool. And I would want one if I didn't have a family. But
if you had a spare.
If I was a single dude and trying to like get chicks and still work that angle, and I had money, hey.
Yeah. So
I couldn't afford a Corvette, so Camaro's next on my list.
Yeah.
You know.
So it was a fun trip. It was way too short. It was a day.
Yeah.
It was like fly out there on Tuesday and flying back east from
whirlwind tour.
LA is like you lose a whole day just on the plane because it's a 4-hour plane ride and then 3-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So that we had dinner that night with everyone, and that was cool. It was a nice dinner, and then the next day was just 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the different GM facilities, and then back on the plane and back in LA at 10:30 p.m. the next day. So,
well, that's cool. It sounds like a really whirlwind kind of like just smash in your face kind of.
Yeah. Hey,
here's a car. Write about it.
And unfortunately, it was raining, or else we would have, if I understood correctly. And if not, it's a great story. But as far as I understand, if it wasn't raining, we would have had a chance to kind of drive them.
Oh, cool.
Maybe through their
test
little
track out there.
They have some testing. They showed us some of these like test courses where they like drive over bricks and stuff for like a mile to see if it vibrates right, and
there's
go through potholes. And
there's in Disney World in Epcot Center. There's an actual ride that's a test track. I mean, it's not like a full on you get to test drive a car, but it's one of those like a high speed Autopia kind of tracks, and it goes through like what a normal kind of test track in GM or something like that would be, where you go over like these crazy bumps, go through some rain simulation, some snow simulation.
This stuff was crazy. I mean, they could have an army testing in the woods up there, or training, I guess is what you call it with an army. And you'd never know. I mean, they own it's like miles and miles of space.
That's crazy.
In one facility, in like just their testing facility, with all these closed roads and all these roads that have like gates that'll open and close based on if you're supposed to be there that day or not. And then there's all these weird covered cars like going around. It looks like they have car bras, but all over the car.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's for, but it's got to be.
I think it's to hide the model.
Something interesting.
Something new that they're coming out with that they don't want to.
They got like Suburbans with tires mounted on the fronts of them. That was pretty cool. Actually, I'd like one of those.
That would be cool.
Not to disparage the Traverse, the 2012 Traverse, which was a nice car.
But if you need to get somewhere in a hurry, that would be
Suburban with tires on the front of it is what I'm going for.
So
it's a fun trip.
We'll have we'll have another video of like what you took and what you're allowed to show.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff up on the website.
On YouTube or something like that. So youtube.com/8bitdad, and you'll see another video of that shortly.
That'll be that.
Yes. Okay, so we totally messed up a question of the week.
We didn't have a question of the week?
We didn't. God. Because I was busy and you were busy, we just totally spaced out.
We, from time to time, just realize that no one's really...
We occasionally have lives, and those get in the way of...
Totally. We thought about it like on Friday, and we were like, what are you going to do? It's Friday.
Yeah, we're not going to get anyone to answer anything, so...
We had a pretty good turnout for last week's. We might have been able to just kind of throw one into the wind and see what happened, but...
Okay, do you have any? But no?
No.
Okay.
I talked to someone about how early is too early for Indiana Jones with your kids.
Oh, who did you talk to about that?
Same dude that talked to me about the Star Wars, the piggyback rider.
Piggyback rider, showing up in episode 3 again. All right.
Lots of free advertising. But he was saying that his kids loved it, and
that's cool.
I said, awesome. Aren't there like Nazis melting in that movie?
Like the original ones, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, well, yeah, you kind of cover their faces for that, but otherwise,
all right.
Not the Nazis, the kids.
Okay, so we have some stories that were pretty popular this week. First story was yours. Yeah,
the 5 parental dick moves that you hate until you're a parent. That was from crack.com, which those guys, I thought they didn't have any like parenting content until all of a sudden they did. So that's that.
And Cracked, they do a lot of top 5, top 10, top whatever, and that's like their thing. to do is the lists and
the
everything.
big list. Yeah, we kind of. I gotta say, when I make a list, I kind of take their style.
It's a pretty.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a pretty decent style.
What are you gonna do? Make a list and be funny. If that's Crack.com's thing, then call me a Crack.com writer, not on the payroll. But they had some kind of cool, for being a site that's kind of known as a not parenting site, they had some kind of funny things that they brought up. Things like telling you to shut up rather than discussing it. Kind of a parent dick move, and totally something that parents do, and you don't understand that until you are a parent.
You don't have time. I mean, you want to be able to say, Timmy, this is why you can't swear.
Yeah.
Because it's not in our nature to do that this young. But later, when you're older, you get to make your own decisions.
Some F-bombs.
Yeah.
That'd be my child on the rocking chair. In case you couldn't hear the bumping.
But you just want to say shut up and get it over with.
Yeah. Grab them by the stupid little face and throw them out of the way and tell them to shut their mouths. Not really. That's the beer talking. Number 4 on their list was forbidding relationships. That kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You don't know that one until you're old enough. Oh. Like your parents are always telling you someone's a bad idea to go out with.
I like how the guy has a Nazi flag on his shirt.
That would be the relationship to forbid, and that would be the one that your daughter wants the most. Is the one with the neo-Nazi, of course.
How can you resist those Nazis?
Punishment's way too severe for the offense, which I am guilty of with my 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, of all people, I'm assuming it's going to get worse and worse as they get older. But I mean, I think every parent does it. And when you're a kid, you don't know what it's about until you have a kid.
Yeah.
But you really just you gotta nail it in their heads that something's wrong and that
there's
consequences. Yeah. And the real world's so much more harsh than taking away your TV or your desserts for a week. So I mean, if you screw something up in the real world, you're losing money or teeth, and if you're screwing something up around home, like coming home too late from hanging out with your friends or something, it may seem a little severe that your parents are gonna nail you to the wall over it, but you don't realize until you are a parent that that's all. I think they were saying it's all out of fear. Like you're afraid that you've got so little time with your kids, and you've got so little time to really impress upon them that. All that a parent can do is basically run scared, which totally true.
And that's actually kind of interesting because that's how politicians make their biggest statements is through fear. That's kind of like what Republicans are not to say one way or the other because I hate all politicians, but
totally.
The understanding that something is scary and Barack Obama is a Muslim, to have these sort of this rhetoric of, not to get political, but there is a language that speaks to a very the very core of our human existence is like this fear that something might be dangerous or wrong.
And I think that's it is a really good kind of an astute thing for Crack to pick up on is that it's that same kind of fear also is that you need to get the fear in them that something can go wrong so that they won't ever do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that's like.
And that's like what raising your voice does.
Yeah.
Because when we're trying to teach our daughter no, and it takes like a few times like no.
Yeah.
You try to get deeper and more scary just to get her attention and just say like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, and try to redirect her in that way and just teach her that no word. But it's very hard to say like no.
Yeah.
Like how you're not going to be able to teach her.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Well, and kids don't understand, like, what the importance is of you saying no.
Right.
Obviously they don't. They think they know everything, even at 1 or 2 years old, and they obviously don't. My wife thinks that I'm like traumatizing our kid by doing the really loud. Because you can see if I do a 3 count, when I get to 3, I'm menacing. and my wife's like, well, I don't want him to be traumatized over this. And I said, I do. I want him to think that when you get to 3, shit is going to start falling in from the ceiling, because if he gets me to 3, he's obviously not listening during 1 or 2,
right,
or any of the warnings I gave him up to there.
Yeah.
So clearly, if I'm at 3, like, my intention is usually I give him until 3 to move himself, and if he's not moved by 3, I move him.
Yeah.
And I do it forcibly but respectfully, I think. Forcibly but legally might be the term that I'm going for. But, I pick him up. I pick him up hard, and he hates it.
But
he's scared, but obviously I'm not going to hit him, and he hasn't figured that out yet.
Yeah, that beats the hell out of spanking and any kind of like child abuse that has been legal, in the 50s or 60s, that people just kind of like let go.
Getting the switch off the tree in the back.
Yeah.
Go give me a switch.
Like, what kind of...
Or a car antenna if you're in a more urban neighborhood.
You gotta find what you're... have you had that experience?
The car antenna? Yeah. Like in high school, not by my parents.
Okay.
Like by,
let's just hope not.
Some other whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Girlfriends.
Well, they were
I'm gonna hit you with a car antenna. Yeah.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed it.
So and they had a couple more things on the list. Pushing menial house tasks onto you.
Yeah.
Totally, dude. Sometimes I don't want to pick up anything.
Yeah.
So that's what the kid's for.
Yep.
But anyway, they had a couple more on that list. Yeah. Funny article. Check it out.
That was a good list.
It was.
So next story was the crib bumpers. Yes, doctors,
I read that in the car in Detroit. I was stoked about that one.
Doctors go on record with obvious assessment, and this came from the. I don't have this story queued up.
This was a CNN thing, right?
Yeah, this was from the BAA. Is that what it's called? The Brotherhood Initiative. Right. So this is.
That's a tough one, because crib bumpers, like, that's one of the things you're sold, like, right away. Like, that's one of those, like...
Well, you look at the crib initially, and you're like, my child's going to sleep in this like, jail cell?
Yeah, it's huge, and it's got bars, and they can hit their head and get stuck, and they can't actually get stuck, which is one of the things that a lot of people don't know now, is that there's regulation for how far apart the bars can be. Yeah. And if the bars are far apart for your kid to get his head in, chances are your crib is an illegal crib or a recalled model or something, because
AAP, that's what
they've done that before. Right. They've gone through that thing.
Yeah, my daughter, she still has she's 11 months old, and she still has all the four walls up. So she will occasionally like turn sideways and have her legs dangle out. Yeah, but totally. It's not her head, and it's not a dangerous situation. I'm always worried about that she's gonna like twist her leg or break her leg if she gets up the wrong way or something like that.
Totally.
But so far, it hasn't been a big deal.
And that's like a total first world problem. Yeah. Like worrying that your kid's gonna like break his leg like in a crib.
In a crib, yeah. Like, like who's gonna do?
No one ever there's no one in like South America that's like. I'm really worried that my kid's going to break his leg in the crib. Like, they're like, I'm just happy to have a crib.
Yeah. Yeah, the American Academy of Pediatrics finally came up with this saying that bumper pads should never be used in infants' cribs. And I fully support this, because when we first transitioned my daughter, and I write about this in the article, when we first transitioned my daughter from the bedside bassinet to the crib, we wanted to have the room of hers that she was going to be sleeping in, like, kind of nice, kind of girly.
Yeah, totally.
And decorated the way you're supposed to decorate a kid's room. And we thought that crib bumpers were going to be like a really good idea. And when we first put her in there and she was rolling around, swaddling aside, we just thought this was a very dangerous situation where she can end up in the crevasse, if you will, of the crib,
between two pillows.
And we didn't want to rely on a baby monitor to say that she was suffocating or anything like that. So
well, yeah, and if you're looking at the monitor and they're already suffocating, that's too late.
Yeah,
like,
it's way
that's
too late.
that. So,
but
we got bumpers. I mean, we had bumpers in our crib, expensive ones too.
Really.
And that's the thing is they get you on that whole idea of like they've got to match the room.
Yeah.
They come with the set. They do this.
They come
do
with
that.
the blanket. They come with the sheets and the.
We have some
bed
pictures
skirt.
of our kid like on the bumpers looking like he's melted into him because he's like fell asleep into him.
That's so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean.
But there are great alternatives if you do want something that'll be a little bit decorative and kind of match your ensemble of decorations in the room.
Yeah, you mentioned the mesh.
Yeah, there's
mesh things, right?
There's a mesh thing with breathable baby products.
Mm-hmm.
They have a website and they have really great mesh bumpers that come in all kinds of designs.
Yeah.
And it's great if you want to decorate the. I mean, they don't really pad the crib at all, but they are a little bit decorative. And
they're actually pretty cool. I see the one with like the jungle scene on it.
Yeah.
On their homepage.
Yeah. So I mean,
and it does the same thing without. Like, putting a big fat pillow.
If your kid, seriously, if your baby is rolling around like a bump, like it's in a bumper, like a single bumper car arena, you have other problems than crib bumpers. Like this dude needs to be swaddled or just tied down or something because babies do not move that much to hurt themselves.
They really like
in that situation.
Ours sure didn't.
Yeah, they just kind of lay there, and and we're talking like 6 months to newborn. Like this isn't a year-old baby that's crazy and wants to walk already. So, that's that.
That's that.
That's that. So, okay, you had a next.
Yeah, the next one.
Story.
Yeah, the next one was Parents.com, and I kind of. Oh man, Parents.com. Nick Shell, dude that I saw in Detroit, really nice guy, works for a really, really evil corporation.
Why the evil?
It's just, I really like I just don't like these parenting websites that are completely centered on women and mothers.
Yeah,
but are trying to say that they're like father friendly,
right?
And they're not. Obviously. Nick actually, I talked to him about that in Detroit, and so
he aware of what they're doing? I mean, like, he's the only man on a team of 10 bloggers. He's the only man. Mm-hmm.
No, there's another man, but he's like a psychiatrist and doesn't talk about father issues.
Oh, okay.
All the other, the 9 or 8 women are all talking about mother issues.
They're like the main bloggers of Parents.com.
Yeah, if you go to Parents.com, there's a link on there that says, like, bloggers or something. Yeah. And you click on it, and it's got the list, and there's 2 dudes. And one's a doctor talking about doctor stuff, and there's Nick talking about fatherhood issues, and there's 8 women talking about everything else. Mm-hmm. Everything else.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the main... I mean, the kind of what set me off was that I got an email from Parents.com. As most of us did if you had voted for us in the Parents.com blog.
Which you didn't.
Father contest, which, yeah.
But thanks to
30-something of you did, and the rest of you, up yours. And thanks to the 200-and-something that voted for whoever that first place guy was.
Which we're still calling hacks on.
We are, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And I told Nick, I had him against the wall, and I was like, those guys cheated. They all cheated.
All you need is an email address and a fake account. We've done that. We've only done like 4 though at the most.
Which was like half of our votes.
And cheating to get into 7th place, like, come on.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Just give it to us. Just give us 6. God. Anyway,
we're so passionate about this.
If you had gotten this email from Parents.com, which I got 3 of them. And then you would notice there was a section on it that said, pretty prominently, I mean, it wasn't like it was tucked away, it said, free stuff for mom and baby.
Yeah. Mom and baby, right there.
Again, there's dads too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're asking me what my gender is on the sign-up for this email.
Yeah.
Come on. If you're asking me for my gender, for Christ's sake, mark it towards me.
Yeah.
So,
like
number
Facebook does or something.
one, I clicked on that list of free stuff.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was really. I mean, it was like it's the stuff that like when you go to like Best Buy and they want to like sell you something, they're like, how about Netflix? How about GameFly? How about blah blah? It's that kind of stuff. It's like,
so it's almost like cross promotion.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do you want 2 years of Parents magazine, which I think I'm on the hook for anyway. And then, oh, how about a 10% discount on all things from like Checks Unlimited or something. I mean, it wasn't all that important anyway, but the sentiment is mom and baby count, dad's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And I really roasted Nick about this. He asked me, he had interviewed me for Parents.com for his blog.
When did that come
which
out?
I really appreciated.
Did it come out?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
He misspelled my name, but hey, everyone does.
Did he say it was Rosenberg?
So did that age.
Did he say Rosenberg?
No, he said Rosenberg, but he spelled it with a U, B-U-R-G instead of B-E-R-G. Come on, Nick. Anyway, so he asked me...
These people are writers. How can they misspell people's names?
It's a long name.
No offense, Nick.
It's a long name. I get it. You kind of tune out after the third syllable.
But it sounds so Jewish. I mean, how can you misspell Berg? Like,
well, and in Nick's defense, there are a lot of B-U-R-G.
Okay.
I guess I haven't really met any, but
I've never met a Berg.
No, yeah, I did. There's a guy on my Twitter list. If you're able to look at my Twitter friends, which I don't know how that works, but there's a dude on my friends list whose last name is Rosenberg with a B-U-R-G.
Oh, okay.
So that's that. Anyway, so Nick asked me, he said he linked to our article, which thank you, Nick, and said, hey, you took exception with our website. What's up? And I said, you know what, Nick, I said, doesn't it make you angry that on Parents.com, right above your own bio on their website, there's a link to mom stuff and then win? What about mom stuff and dad stuff with win underneath it? Like, and if you click on win, you obviously go to contests and things like that. But, mom stuff, and that's it. Like, and I told him, I said, I bet if you would go to your editorial staff, which I'm sure we're all women, and say, hey, what about dad stuff? They'd say, what stuff do dads need? What do those guys even need?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, it's kind of a bad sentiment to be a part of is, the whole, what do fathers even need? For a parenting website, if it was Mom Central or if it was travelingmama.com or momsmomsmoms.net. I don't know if that exists, but if it doesn't, we should take it. That's fine.
I don't know if I want to take that because I think a whole other demographic is going to be searching for that.
What about dads.net?
That's a lot of dads.
It's 3. It's one more than we got right now. So.
Well, it's kind of like the...
No, we got Justin too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Nick.
Well...
We can get dads.com.
Don't take that. We're going to register it tonight.
So, if you like sensationalist journalism, which I'm trying to corner the market on it.
What I was going to say is
check out that story.
I worked for a publisher who does Mom and Baby magazine. Mm-hmm. And, they're not, great people, but there's no men on their staff. Mm-hmm. And they are called Mom and Baby, though. Mm-hmm. They know what their demographic is. They cater towards moms and their children. But
well, let's be honest. How many white people are on like Ebony magazine's staff? That's okay. We get it. It's fine. If you're going to specifically set out for a particular purpose.
Right.
Parents.com's particular purpose was parents, not parent. Yeah. Like if it was Parent magazine,
or Mom.
They could say like, we're focusing on the one parent, Mom
magazine, yeah.
But they said parents, which should be men and women, moms and dads.
Yeah. Or dads and dads.
Or dads and dads.
Or moms and moms. Or dads.
I've seen videos like that.
Next story.
So you had a story on the internet.
This was just a really quick one.
That was a funny one.
It was from Awkward Family Photos.
Boy, was it awkward. Is that Katherine Heigl?
I don't know. It was obviously shot with a soft filter and a bitchin' vignette.
Yeah.
And it was what this man's vision of his boy looked like in the womb. Just a really funny photo. It kind of looks like a tattoo.
Well, and what's funny is that this is like
Which would
They
be really
did
weird.
this isn't like something that someone photoshopped. Like,
no, they actually did this.
well, I mean, like, not that he got in her stomach and made it translucent, but like this was like an official something because it's got the vignette on it. Like, they put this in a frame.
Oh yeah,
up in their house somewhere.
I'm sure they did. Like at least a 20 by 16 photo.
20 by 60.
You know, like one of
life
those
size.
One of those bitch and Aaron Brothers frames. You know, like
the gold frame.
Plate. Yeah.
The one that you hit with like a sack of nickels to make it look like it's beat up and like shabby chic. Like,
don't bring up the sack of nickels or sack of pennies again.
Yeah.
So that was that funny photo. Got a lot of hits. There you go.
That's how we roll. Smash and grab.
So that's about it for the stories. We had
that's it.
We had some upcoming giveaways.
We got a whole bunch of stuff.
What other stuff do we have? So I know we have Justin has a connection to Slacker Radio,
which I love. I gotta say, you and I were talking about that.
Right.
You know, because Spotify came out in the U.S. finally.
Yeah.
Groove Shark is out in the U.S. Pandora's always been around.
Mm-hmm.
Yahoo Music might have gone away. Last FM kind of went away.
They're still
for what they're doing.
They're still around, but
there's a lot of music things out there. But I tried them all, and I like Slacker the most. And now that I have an iPhone, the app on it is a lot more capable than the Windows app, the Windows mobile app was. But I like Slacker a lot. Yeah. I know you and I were disagreeing on that. You said like Spotify's.
Well, it has more integration with
kind of got better.
Facebook. And everyone's on Facebook now,
totally.
So it's just
integration is the killer, man. If you don't just integrate with like Facebook, like you're dead in the water.
And Mark Zuckerberg.
Not that Slacker's dead in the water, but
Mark Zuckerberg came out and just said like, "Oh, Spotify's the best thing ever."
Yeah, of course.
Because it's so integrated with Facebook. And
I blocked it on my feed. I don't know if I did.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been posting songs or something, but I don't.
Not a lot of people stream stuff from Spotify, but I checking in.
I went on it. I went to Spotify. I wanted to check out and see what it was all about, and I was confused by it. I don't know if I'm dumb. That's always possible, because I'm just slow or dumb or something.
Well, what you do is you just you search for, you have a radio category, and you can search for a specific genre of music that you want to listen to. And it comes up with like different singles, or you can like search for an artist and see the related artists from them. I've done that.
Which was kind of like Groove Shark. Groove Shark was like that.
Oh. Yeah.
Which I liked. It was cool because you could like request specific songs, whereas on Slacker you can put in an artist. You
can put an artist or a song name, and it'll come up.
Yeah, it'll come up, and you can basically favorite it, and it'll come up on a list, and
it's playlist
blah, blah,
based.
Blah.
So,
but I like, and Slacker has like the youth radio, which is really good. When we're in the car, I'll put on the youth radio, like the toddler station,
right?
And kid goes fucking ape shit about
jams
that,
on there,
breaking out of his car seat like the Hulk to do
So Slacker's giving away a premium subscription.
They're giving away like 3 of them or something, isn't it? Like,
is it 3?
They had mentioned at one point to give away 3 of them.
Oh.
I think we probably told them no because that would mean that we'd need more than 3 people to like actually enter.
But yeah, so I mean, all you have to do is like just
comment for
comment on this post that Justin
I think you need
made.
to I think Justin said you gotta tweet about it or put a link on Facebook or something.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter.
We're not going to be
Reddit,
too picky at this point, I think.
Wherever on the internet, just post it somewhere.
For Christ's sake, Justin posted that to like the freebies section on Reddit.
Yeah, no one wants Slacker. That's how.
No one wants a freebie.
All right. So.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now.
You want it?
I got one too.
Oh, okay.
They gave one free to Justin, and Justin was like, "Thanks, guys. I'm in Afghanistan, though." So he gave it to me. I like it. Yeah. I like Slacker. I'm giving it my seal of approval.
All right, then.
That was a.
We don't have any graphics for that. So
can we get that?
No.
Can we like get one to up there?
Maybe.
Post-production?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
But I like it.
See how much time I have.
If my word means anything, which it doesn't.
No, it does. Of course it does.
I like it.
So.
I like you, Slacker. I'm going to keep going until they...
You're just talking to Marty McFly right now. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for tuning in. You can contact us and suggest stories.
Please do.
By emailing us at 8bitdad.com somewhere in
Is it
this
gonna be down
area.
there?
It's going to be down there somewhere. And someone just walked by, and they're going to see me like going like this. Awkward.
Please like us on Facebook.
Yeah, and subscribe to us on, or whatever that is, follow on Twitter.
Follow on Twitter. Subscribe on Facebook.
/8bitdads with an S.
Because there is an 8-Bit Dad on Twitter.
There is an 8-Bit Dad, yeah.
He's not affiliated with us.
He's not, but he's cool.
We should look into him.
He's actually following us.
Is he?
Yeah, because he's. I think
was he the video game writer
Scott,
guy or something?
Scott Schul or something? I don't know, but he's got a cool username.
We'll either have him or kill him.
Yeah, so
look for that in the future.
Look for that. All right, so that's it for this week's episode of 8-Bit Dad. I'm Brian Ferguson.
And I'm Zach Rosenberg.
And
you don't need to know. They need to know.
They need to know.
I'll tell you. I'm Zach Rosenberg, by the way.
Oh, nice to meet you.
BTW.
BTW. All right, we'll see you next week, and keep slacking.
Stay fatherly. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me what I never wanna hear you say. I want it that way.